Hey guys, it's Sarah and it's been a while. I feel like I start all my videos out like that. It's definitely been some time since I've uploaded a video. I filmed a couple of videos in the past month, but it just didn't work out and I didn't like the way they came out and I didn't have time to refilm them, and so I have a bunch of these videos that might end up being posted sometime if I can find time to edit them or whatnot. But yeah, I apologize for not having any videos out. It's been a very crazy month. August went by so quickly and it was so much fun, but it was very, very fast, and so I didn't find myself with a lot of free time. There's kind of a reason for that as well. I've read so many books in August. It's ridiculous. I spent every waking moment that I was not at work or like hanging out with family or doing errands or any cleaning or anything like that. Anything where I was not busy, all I did was read. So I read so many books, and so many awesome books as well, and I'm really excited to show you guys what I've read. So you're gonna have to bear with me because this video might be a little bit long, and I wanted to give a few updates, not a lot, because like I said, a lot's gone on, but at the same time it's not too much besides the obvious things. But yeah, so bear with me about a long video, but I hope you guys enjoy. Grab a snack and let's get to the video. First off, I colored my hair. It's a different color and I really enjoy the color it is now. I like my hair color a lot better when it's darker. I don't know what it is, but I like the darker hair. It was actually a little more red when I first got it done, but now it's starting to turn more brown and I enjoy that. So really like that. I bought myself a reading recliner. It's gonna be my new filming spot, mostly because me and Ron Lit, I don't know if you know who Ron Lit is, but she's amazing. I'll link her channel down below. I love her channel. She's hilarious. But me and her call our channel something similar. She's the book junkie and I'm Books&Junk, and so I thought I would go ahead and copy her even more and have a chair to sit in because she used to sit in a recliner as well. Also, it's the only spot I can film in front of my bookshelf, so I thought it'd be really awesome to show my bookshelves as well. Yeah, pretty much that is it. My dog is scratching the bed, so if you hear some scratching noises, he likes to scratch to get comfortable. Does anybody else's dogs do that? I feel like they do. But let's just jump into the books that I've read this month. I don't know how many there is, but I know it's over 10. It could even be over 12. I can't remember. But I know I read some graphic novels and I've read some really awesome books this month and some that I'm really excited to talk about, so let's get to it. The first book that I read this month I ended up reading with Lindsay. We are trucking away through the Codex Alera series and we decided to pick up the next book, which is book 3, and it is called Cursor's Fury. This one, we were told that this one is like the favorite and it is way better than the second two. Me and Lindsay have little slight problems with this series. Overall, it's not bad. It's not a bad series, but writing style can sometimes be a little bit, I wouldn't say it drags on because it doesn't, but just unimportant. There are things in here that I feel are unimportant, but I'm excited where the series is going and I'm excited to see what the next 3 books have in store for me because I feel like I'm going to enjoy those a lot more than I did this one. So I ended up giving this a 4 stars, I believe. Maybe a 3.5 stars. I think I just rounded up to a 4 stars. So yeah, this was the first book I read this month. Books I read was because of the yearathon this month's August yearathon theme. Man, that's a mouthful. Was I almost said new adult. No, was middle grade, and I ended up reading a few middle grade books. Not as many as I'd planned on reading, but I still read a lot of great ones. So the first one that I read was Howls Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones, and my clock is going off, of course. What time is it? It's like 3 o'clock. Okay, so shouldn't be that long. It's an hour off. And I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars as well, I believe. I enjoyed this. It was very whimsical, very fun read. I would have loved it a lot as a kid, and I just really did enjoy it, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Next one that I read for the yearathon was The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. This is the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is a spin-off of the Percy Jackson series, and I know it is talked about that this is a little more YA than middle grade, but I just read it for the middle grade aspect. I still think it counts as middle grade a little bit. Just the adventure, the way the adventures are told, I feel like it's more middle grade. But this was a really fun book. I loved the characters so far. The first 3 characters. I know this series follows a group of 7 people, and the first 3 are really awesome and fun, and I really enjoyed them. Cannot wait until the next one. I love Rick Riordan. I love the Percy Jackson world. I think it is so much fun. I think I gave this a 4.5 stars or a 5 out of 5 stars. Man, this is hard to remember, but I think I gave it a 4.5 or 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it and cannot wait to get on to the next one. Okay, now we're gonna get into Sarah's game of when did I actually read these and which one came first. So I don't know if these are going to be in order and that I read them this month, but I still have them and I'm still going to show you them. So if it's not in order, I apologize. Like if you follow me on Goodreads, you'll know what I read in order. The next book is Legend by Marie Lu. This was Lindsay's pick out of my TBR jar, which is just a spreadsheet that she picks a number every month, and then I read a book that the book that goes along with that number, and she picked Legend for me. I was not too excited to read this, but I flew through this book. It was fun, it was exciting, the world was so dark and just mysterious, but at the same time so straightforward, and the characters were easy to read. It wasn't bad. I think I gave it a 4 stars. Maybe a 3.5, just because I feel like there's so much more to the story and I'm excited to see how that goes in the next couple of books. But I did like the story, I did like the characters, and yeah, I enjoyed it, so that's why I gave it I think I ended up giving it a 4 stars or 3.5 stars, whatever. Next book that I think I read was one that was sent to me for early review. Well, for review. It was sent to me for review by, I think it's Harlequin Teen, and that is Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the second book in her Dark Elements series. The first book is called White Hot Kiss, and I loved White Hot Kiss when I read it. I think I read it in April or so when it came out. I absolutely adored it. It was so much fun. The world was awesome, the characters were awesome, and I really enjoyed all the supernatural references. I'll talk more about that. I have a review posted. You can go check it out if you want to see more of my thoughts or if you're interested in this series. But I was super excited that Harlequin Teen sent this to me. I requested it and they sent it, and I was so excited. It's the very first review copy that I've ever requested and got, and so that was really exciting. It comes out in November, so not too far away. This book, I have mixed feelings about it. I think I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 stars, but I'm not a huge fan of love triangles, and this series centers around a love triangle, and I had some issues with the love triangle aspect in this story, but overall I really do enjoy the world, and I enjoy Jennifer L. Armentrout's writing. She gets me every time. Yeah, I really did like this book. I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I'll have my review up on this a little closer to the release date, so look forward to that. But I really did enjoy this, and you guys watch out, you're gonna like it. You're going to like it. What did I read next? Who the F knows? Okay, we're just gonna go with this one. I think I read this one next, hopefully. The next book that I read was Siegen Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Grisha series, or the Shadow and Bone series, whichever one you identify with. This book was definitely a middle of the series book. It's a trilogy, so the middle book is always the least favorite one, but usually it's because there's so much world building and there's so much learning about the characters, and the story is very slow because you're trying to get all this information for the climax that happens in the third book. This one took a different approach to it, more like the Twilight second book, where the whole middle of this book was very slow and it was very, not a lot happened, not a lot towards the plot happened, not a lot of character growth happened. It was just kind of like a story to tide you over to the next book. I feel like this series could have been just one book or a duology and it would have been completely fine, but trilogies are popular right now. I actually read this with Rachel from Rachel Taylor, Jordan, and then I also read it with Lindsay. So we all read this, and it was lots of fun. I liked reading it with those girls, and hopefully we can read Rise and Ruin soon together. It'll be awesome. So but yeah, I read this one this month. Okay, moving on. And I read Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the final book in the Lux series, book number 5. Okay, this book, what do I say? I love the Lux series. I've loved it from the beginning. I thought it was an amazing, just YA fun read, nothing too serious, nothing too crazy. And then she gives us this final book, which was just madness the whole time. It was just craziness, and I was just so tired of all of the obstacles that the characters had to go through that I think this book was less fun for me because I just wanted that happy ending. I don't know. This book is actually not very long at all. It's like, I think it's 350 pages. So it's 350 pages, so it's really only this long, but I have the edition that has the prequel Shadows in here. So I thought it was going to be so much longer, and so I thought there was going to be a lot more resolved and things. Not that the ending wasn't resolved, but I just felt like there was so much more that I wanted to see, and it didn't disappoint me. I don't want to say it disappointed me, but it wasn't exactly what I was thinking was going to be the conclusion of a series. Overall, I loved it. I mean, I love this world, and I think it's so much fun, but I did have problems with it. I think I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars or 4.5 stars just because I didn't necessarily need the whole middle part of it. So yeah, but I did read it and I enjoyed it, and you should pick up this series if you've not picked it up yet. I need to check to see if my camera is dead. It's not. We're golden. Next book that I read, I forgot about these 3 books, so they're probably out of order, but the next book that I read was Lover Awakened by J.R. Ward. This is a romance novel about vampires, and it's so much fun. It's paranormal romance, and this was my favorite out of the series so far. There's like 13 books in this series, and I have the first 6. I enjoy this series a lot. I enjoy the world. It's so dark and gothic and just really fun. But this was definitely my favorite one, and this is about Sadist and Bella. I just really enjoyed it. If you like romance novels, I would recommend this, especially if you like romance but you also like action and world building and things like that, because this has both of them, and I find myself picking up these books because I can devour them so quickly, and because it allows me to read a romance plus a slight fantasy. It's not like a huge fantasy novel or anything like that, but it is light fantasy, so I really do enjoy this series. So I read this one, and then I immediately picked up the next one, which was Lover Revealed. This one follows the characters Butch and what was her name? Marissa. Butch and Marissa. I really liked this one as well. It was a lot of fun. I gave both these 5 out of 5 stars, and they're on my favorites list because I like them so much. They're so easy for me to read, and they're so quick, and I can just sit down and read them in 1 to 2 sittings, and I just really do enjoy them. So yeah. Next book that I read with Lindsay. This was our buddy reading fantasy novel of the month besides Furies. This was our second fantasy, I guess. We read so many books together, whatever. The book that we read was The Blade Itself by Jo Abercrombie. Okay, what do I say about this book? I know a lot of people are curious on my thoughts. They've asked me about, like when I first bought it, they asked me to do lots of reviews and things like that on this book, or thoughts about it. And I think I might make a separate video for this. I don't think it'll necessarily be a traditional review because it's hard to review a book like this, but I will talk more about it in another video. I just promised you something, so look forward to that. But this book follows a group of characters in this world that is an empire, but then you have some people from the north trying to take this empire, and there's all this, political conflict, and then these characters are just wretched people that you don't really want to root for, but they're your main characters, so you really have no choice, and then you start to love them, and then they don't redeem themselves at all, but you still enjoy their stories, and it's definitely a ride. It's definitely a roller coaster. I enjoyed this book. I think I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because I just couldn't give it any less. I might have given it a 4. I don't want to say that I gave it a 5 out of 5, but I think I did because it was just so crazy. It was literally, this book had very little world building. It was very subtle in the world building, and by the end of the story I have a good picture in my mind of what the world is, but as I was reading it, I had no clue. I had no clue what was going on. There were things in this story that I just felt like were like, what is this? But at the same time, it was important towards the characters and the characters developing and what they were going through, and it was just crazy. I'm gonna have another video on it. I think I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Me and Lindsay did enjoy reading this and talking about it, and I think we read it in like 4 or 5 days. So it's a quick read, and is this one. Ooh, I saved the best for almost last. Okay, the best and greatest book I've ever read, plus my favorite of the month, was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Now, I know everybody is looking at me like, Sarah, everyone talks about this book and everyone says it's so amazing, but I don't think I'm gonna like it because I don't really like video games and it's just not really my thing, and you know, I didn't think I was going to pick it up. Stop right there, because those were my thoughts exactly. I was never going to pick up this book ever because it just didn't appeal to me. I wasn't interested in it. I just didn't think I was going to enjoy it because I'm not a huge gamer, and I'm not a huge, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm not huge into nerdy things, but at the same time, I'm just getting my feet wet into nerdy things. And so I never really thought I would like this story, but let me tell you, this was amazing, especially if you like 80s culture. If you love 80s movies and 80s video games and 80s music and 80s anything, because I know I do, definitely something you should try out. I read this, I listened to the audiobook. I didn't actually read the book. I read like the very beginning of it, and then I decided to pick up the audiobook because Will Wheaton narrates it, and that was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. It was amazing. Will Wheaton's voice is just perfect for the character, and he told the story so well that I don't think I would enjoy it as much as if I read it, which is probably a lie, but I just really enjoyed the audiobook. But yeah, it's so good, and I really like 80s culture. I really love the 80s, and I thought it was so much fun. You guys, this book is amazing. It's amazing, and if you don't think you would enjoy it, just at least try it, or pick up the audiobook and listen to it every now and then, because I promise you, you're missing out if you don't at least try it. I even gave it to my dad to read, and he reads a lot of like thrillers and like, not really murder mysteries, but he reads a lot of like Jack Reacher and Tom Clancy books, Dan Brown books, and he loved this. He thought it was amazing. He listened to the audiobook as well, and he really liked it as well, so it is as good as the hype says it is. So I loved this book. It was my favorite of the month. Favorite. Absolute favorite. Books that I read this month are my graphic novels. So if not, then I've already read Amulet a while ago. I swear I read it in what month comes before August? July, but I don't know if I have or not, if I've mentioned it, but whatever. This is a, I think I have. This is a middle grade graphic novel series about these kids that go into this magical world, and it's really good. The art. You guys, the art speaks to me. It is so amazing, and the story is fun, it's adventurous, and the art is just amazing. So I've read book 1, and then this month I read book 2 and book 3. I also have book 4 and 5, I think, yeah, book 4 and 5, so I have that to read, and then I also am going to get book 6 because it just came out like this past week. So I am enjoying the series so much, and if you like graphic novels, or you're not really sure if you like graphic novels, I'd recommend you pick this up because it's so quick and so much fun, and the world building is surprisingly amazing. It is so good, so good. I have one more, and that is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. Again, me and Lindsay read this together. This was surprisingly good. I really did like this. I did not like Throne of Glass very well, and I need to change my rating on Goodreads because it is sitting at a 4 stars, but I think it's more of a 3 stars for me because I just had so many problems with it, and me and Lindsay broke it down of what I really didn't like, and you know, we talked about it because she enjoyed the book, but I just did not like it for some reason. It just did not sit well with me. But this one was surprisingly better, and it's not better for the reasons that you're thinking, because those of you who've read it are probably like, oh yeah, she's one of those girls that likes that one character that is really important in this story. But that is a plus for this, but it also, I feel like this had so much more world building in it and a lot more of the characters, understanding the characters and things like that, and it was a lot more fast-paced, and I just really enjoyed it. I did. I gave it a 4 stars, and I need to change my rating for the other one to a 3 stars because that is reflected. That's truly how I liked the books. So, but yeah, so this was the last book that I read this month. I told you it was a lot. I told you. Okay, so those are all the books that I've read in the month of August. Now, July, we're in September, Sarah. September is probably, let me check my camera. September is probably not going to be as good as August just because I'm going to be traveling in the middle of the month, and it's already almost 5 days into September, and I've not read any books yet. So it's probably not going to be as well. I'm probably not going to read as much, and I especially want to do more videos and things like that. So probably going to see less reading, but that's okay because I enjoy making videos and I think taking a break is nice from reading sometimes. Also, I started Once Upon a Time. I don't know how I didn't watch it beforehand. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I think that's why I didn't watch it, but it's awesome and it's a lot of fun. I'm on season 2 now, so that's part of the reason why I'm not in the mood to read is because I really just want to watch that. But I will show you what I'm currently reading, and that is Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson, chapter 5, and it is so good. It is so fast-paced, and I will probably end up finishing this either tonight or tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome. Plus, Brandon Sanderson is my writing god. He's my reading god. He's my book god. That's what I call him, my book god. Beast Sand is my book god for life. Okay, that is all I have for this video, guys. Let me know down below what books you have read this month, and if you've enjoyed your books that you've read, which one was your favorite. Let me know if you want any reviews on these books. Some of them will already have reviews, but if you want a specific review, let me know. Sarah's not very good at making reviews anymore. She forgets, but that's okay. I've been talking about myself in third person a lot lately. It's really weird. Anyway, but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know some changes that's happened in your life. Anything that you want to talk about. I feel like I've been so disconnected and I apologize for that, but I am excited to get back into filming videos. I almost forgot I had one more book that I read this month, and it was Lead by Kelly Scott. This is the third book in her Stage Dive series. I think that's what it's called, and it's a new adult romance book, and it's just a fluffy read, and it was really good. My favorite of the series so far. I loved the main character, the girl character. She was hilarious. And the guy character was take him or leave him, but the main character was awesome, and I liked their whole thing about their relationship. She's very smart about it, and I really liked that. So yeah, that was the last book I read. I think I gave it 4 stars. So yeah, okay, moving on. But I hope you guys are doing really well, and if you have any questions or if you guys want to talk about anything, let me know down below. If you've made a wrap-up video, link it down below and I will go watch it and comment on it and give my 2 cents about what you've read this month. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I have for this video, guys. Hope you're doing well, and I miss you so much, and thanks so much for watching. I just hit myself in the face, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!